UTEP is one step closer to having a law school at the university after receiving a $5 million grant from Tani Acosta and Chaparro.
So UTEP says this matches an original $5 million challenge grant from the Paul Foster Family Foundation last fall, bringing the total raised for the prospective law school to $10 million. UTEP says a 2024 Texas Legislature Commission feasibility study found that establishing a law school at the university would fill a critical regional gap for legal services. The cost to start up the law school is about $20 million over a 10-year period. And I know that everybody thinks, oh my God, there's nothing but attorneys running around here. But there really aren't. We actually have a really serious desert about legal services as well as medical services. And really, honestly, a regional law school would be a big boon to UTEP. It would bring more money in, more students. And it really would fill that gap that we need. People want to be able to go to school and stay in El Paso,
right?
You know, after they're finished with school, and this would accomplish both of those things. That is a really amazing grant from both of those foundations.
It really is.
That was really great. So and you know what? Personally, I've been around the legal community my whole life, but this would be a really good thing. We've got such a growing population. We've got a younger population, so you need a lot more legal services, not only for like things like criminal defense, but also family law.
Yep.
And then also, you know, people buy things and they need, you know, they need a contract looked at. They need immigration services, things like that. There are so many things that require an attorney. And so being able to educate our local residents and then have them in the workforce, it just makes sense.
It is, and it's good to see because we are so far out from the rest of Texas.
Yeah, right.
You know, that having a lot of these types of schools and all of the new medical schools that are coming in, and that's great for us.
Because not only do you have to think about cost of school, you have to think about cost of living as well.
Right.
So if you can stay in El Paso, say you're just right out of high school, you can stay through your undergrad, you can stay through going through law school, and maybe be able to live with your folks and be able to, you know, get that education. And that, you know, and in you know the 7-8 years that it takes you to get through school, at the end of that you have a viable employment path.
Yeah.
So and it helps out, you know, with people who can afford to go out of town for school. So I think this is such a great idea. I'm so glad to see not only the law firm but also the Foster Foundation step up and really give us that big hand. That's really important. That's really important.